Good afternoon, you guys. I'm back, and you know, I'm enjoying that. Some people are reading or listening to my last little video about the event. Of course, we're not going to get too far away off track here because the event is no more than somebody ascending into this nirvana or whatever it is that we do by following the way and by honoring mother and father. You know, it's just this, they all want to think that they can just jump on a bus and they're all off and running just like that. It's just funny. I wanted to do a quick reaction to this to show them where they can find this in our Bible. Okay. I'm already wrestling with people saying, oh, what about this? What about that? And, there's no such thing as resurrection, or not resurrection, but because that's what we do. We are resurrecting ourselves. We're bringing ourselves to life after being dead. And it takes this way and this event to happen in your life. It doesn't knock you on the head. You know very well when you're going to do it because you set out to do it, right? I just want to show you where this was in the Bible and where you would look for it. It's called the Nazarene, all right? You got to understand that Nazarene is, Jesus was Nazarene. It doesn't mean that he came from a place called Nazareth. It's like being Christian, being an atheist, or being Catholic, being Protestant. It's been Nazarene, being a Nazarite. So it's a way of thinking. And so what that winds up being in our Bible is it just says, that you've made some kind of vow. And this is God speaking with Moses. Okay. So I'm going to monitor it down. I'm going to turn on the big computer here. And we have a Bible definition of this Nazarite. It comes from the Hebrew word Nazir, meaning consecrated or separated. This vow requires the person to abstain from wine, vinegar, grapes, raisins, intoxicant liquors, vinegar made from such substance, and eating or drinking any substance that contains any trace of grapes. All right. It's kind of funny, huh? Isn't that interesting? The grapes. Well, the grapes of wrath, the grapes, when you talk about it, the guy that actually serves Christ correctly, or the Lord, comes through a dream where a cupbearer watches a grapevine grow from the earth, and it turned into a flower and then into a grape, and he saw his hand squeeze the grape. What was in the grape was then led into a cup, and then he gave the cup to his master. And he didn't lose his head. That means he served his master correctly. And so the grape, what's inside the grape, that thing right there, the grape juice, in this instance, they're not allowed to have any wine. Not allowed to have no wine. And so what happens is let's go on. Wine means spirit, so they are not allowed to connect to the other side. This is what a Nazarite, which is what Jesus was. He's not allowed to connect. It's like he had to wait till at least he was like 33 before he met up with his father. All right. And so, and until then, we wonder, where did that whore come from? Why is there a whore in his storyline? Which is what they would consider Mary. This was a substitute, and that's what we call all these things are called the whore. All right, that's why they dubbed her the whore. It's just a shame, though, But he was connected to the Lord already. He had already been connected, you know. So, but the way the story goes, he had to wait till he was 33. All right. Here again in Numbers 6, King James Version. All right. Now, Numbers 6 is going to be about the works. That's what we're talking about. 6 is the work. 6 has always been the work. 6 is the top of the ladder. 6 is where we meet Jesus. This is the air. The third phase of consciousness shows up right here. In the air where we meet Jesus. And you have to be in spirit in order to do this. All right, but this is how it works. And let's read this out. Numbers 6, King James Bible. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, number 2, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when either man or woman shall separate themselves to vow a vow of a Nazarite, to separate themselves unto the Lord. Number 3, he shall separate himself from wine and strong drink, and shall drink no vinegar of wine or vinegar of strong drink, neither shall he drink any liquor of grapes, nor eat moist grapes or dried. This is number 3. This is generally what you do kick into. If you were going to number 3 is the hooking up of mom and dad. But here, she's not allowed to have grapes. Grapes represents the mom. Grape represents the spiritual side of us. So this 3 says no. All right. For all the days of his separation shall he eat nothing that is made of the vine tree, from the kernels even to the husk. This is 4. 4 is about those worlds. They're not allowed to have from the vine tree. This is where, at the 6th ladder, this is where God has cut this off from all Jewish people, or everyone. He has cut this part off. You have to come in separated. This is the way it goes. Number 5, all the days of the vow of his separation, there shall no razor come upon his head, till the days be fulfilled, in which he separateth himself unto the Lord. He shall be holy, and shall the locks of the hair of his head grow. 5 represents our body. Here he is telling us that he wants the hair not to be cut, which means you won't die. You're not allowed to go over on this other side. That's what it means to have your hair cut. It's like taking off your clothes, all right? It's like taking that dip into the pool of water. You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to take what is outside, what is growing from the outside. It has to keep going, all right? That's why a lot of monks and all these things, once they get on, they cut that off, And even in these Bible stories, the guys that cut their hair off, they cut off what's on the outside, Okay, and basically, it's an outwardly call, but it's a shedding of your garments. It's taking the part of something that is you. And so that was number 5. And 6. 6 is the 6th chakra. This is what it's all about. All the days that he separateth himself unto the Lord, he shall come at no dead body. That means that you'll never be dead. You'll never die. That's what I've been teaching. This is how it works. Number 7. He shall not make himself unclean for his father or his mother, for his brother, for his sister, when they all die, because the consecration of his God is upon his head. All the days of his separation, he is holy unto the Lord. 9. And if any man shall die ever sudden by him, and by faith, and hath defiled the head of the consecration, then he shall shave his head in the day of his cleansing, and the 7th day shall he shave it. Number 9. Number 9 is consciousness. Now we're talking about 9. talking about when this happens. This is when he shaves his head, and on the seventh day he shall shave it. 9 is when he goes up to go to be cleansed. This is the whole idea, the cleansing. Then you chop the hair off. That's when you go under, remove your garments, whatever it takes for you to get over onto this other side. All right, now it starts over again with 10. And on the 8th day he shall bring 2 turtles and 2 young pigeons to the priest, to the door, the tabernacle, the congregation. That's him and 2 other things. Number 11. And the priest shall offer the one for a sin offering, that's for the lower mind, and the other for a burnt offering, and that's for the right mind, and make him atonement. I make an atonement for him. For he that sinned by the dead, and shall hallow his head at the same time. Number 12, 3. And he shall consecrate unto the Lord the days of his separations, and shall bring a lamb of the first year for a trespass offering. But the days that were before shall be lost, because of his separation was defiled. This idea here is the Lord shall consecrate unto the Lord of the separation. He shall bring a lamb. It's always the lamb. Remember, we just were reading all through Revelations when they saw someone that was like a lamb, and this was a lamb, and you're the lamb. You are the lamb that comes to this place. All right, that's number 12, which is 3. It's going to bring an offering, just like bringing lots of incense going up with you before the saints. All right, number 13. And this is the law of the Nazarite. When in the days of his separations are fulfilled, he shall be brought unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. This is number 4. This is the world's. Number 5, which is 14. And he shall offer his offering unto the Lord, 1 he lamb of the first year without blemish for a burnt offering, and 1 ewe lamb for the first year without blemish for a sin offering, and 1 ram without blemish for a peace offering. This is all 3 guys coming together. This is 5. This is the whole body. So you're bringing everything up with you. Number 15. And a basket of unleavened bread, cakes, and flour mingled with oil, wafers, and unleavened bread, anointed oil, and other meat offerings and drink offerings. This is 6. This is all of your flowers and all these things. This is all food. This is when you come to your body, to come to this vine, there's fruit on it, and this is what you're supposed to eat. Remember, Jesus came up to someone's vine, and they didn't have no food. He was hungry. He slashed. This thing won't bear no fruit. This is talking about 6, the chakras. All right. Number 16, which becomes the 7. And the priest shall bring them before the Lord, and shall offer his sin offering and his burnt offering. 17, and he shall offer the ram as a sacrifice for peace offering. That's you, baby. Unto the Lord with the basket of unleavened bread. Unleavened bread, no thought. Unleavened bread, no thinking. And the priest shall offer also all his meat offerings and all his drink offerings. 18. And the Nazarite shall shave his head of his separation at the door of the tabernacle, which is 6. The door of the congregation, of the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall take the hair of the head of the separation and put it in the fire, which is under the sacrifice of the peace offerings. This, in the fire, this is you. You're taking off your skin and you're tossing it in the fire for a clean, for a peace offering. You're being brought to peace when you do this, when you go this route. All right, number 19. And the priest shall take the sodden shoulder of the ram, one unleavened cake out of the basket, and one unleavened wafer, and shall put them in the hands of the Nazarite after the hair of his separation is shaven. This is number 19, which is 19, 9, 1. It's 10. So it's a brand new one. You're brand new. Oh, it's just a new you, a new one, a new beginning. And the priest shall take the sodden shoulder from the ram, take an unleavened piece of cake from the basket, and an unleavened wafer, and shall put them in the hands of the Nazarite after this happened. You give him back yourself. Number 20. And the priest shall wave them as a wave offering for the Lord. And in the whole, this is holy for the priest with the wave breast and heave shoulder. And after the Nazarite may drink wine. This is, at the end of these stories, generally this is where you drunk on the new wine. This is, Moses makes it up to the top of the, Noah makes it up to the top of the mountain and is drunk off the new wine. Who is screwed by his wife, his girlfriend, his sisters, or shoot, boy, am I messing that up. When Sodom and Gomorrah are destroyed, and Lot makes it up to the top of the mountain, he's made drunk off the wine, and he is raped by his daughters. It's the same story. All right. And the law of the Nazarite, who hath vowed, and of his offering unto the Lord for his separation, beside that his hand shall get, according to the vow which he vowed, so he must do after the law of his separation. That's number 21. 22. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise shall... Number 23. Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, to the 24, the Lord bless thee and keep thee. This is number 6. The Lord bless thee and keep thee. Number 25, which is 7. The Lord make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. This is when people's faces are white, bright white, like the sun. 26. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. This is a peace offering. This is number 6, 7, 8. This is number 8. Number 27, which would be a 9. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. And that's it. So when we did the last reading, we found that what God would do is that now your world is his world. Now your world is the Lord's world. Your mind. The whole idea of this changing of the guards, changing of the mind, from the way people think in the West to the way people think in the East. Let's see if there's anything else in here. We have numbers 6 again, and number 6 and number 5, which is about our body. And of course, we already read this here. All right. There'll be no, all the days of the vow of his separation, there shall no razor come upon his head, until the days be fulfilled. This is till the end of days. All right. The end of days for the person, in which he separateth himself unto the Lord. And that's what you and I do. We're supposed to separate ourselves unto the Lord. And when we do this, it brings us all together as one. Right. Where is the audience? There you are. So you see, the whole business starts that he's a Nazarene. So what can we get out of this Nazarite? These guys would say, what are we going to get from this dude? He's the separated one. What do we get out of him? Well, we get salvation. We get the way. We absolutely do. And we're introduced to mother and father by this action. All right. It brings you alive, takes you from the dead side, the dead zone. That idea of you're just like a sepulcher or whatever they call that, open pit, to the to what do they call it, tomb, about right here, that your mouths, become like a giant, open space that, and then what's next is you're in the death. You're a skeptical. I still can't say that word. Maybe I did good at first, but this idea is that you're an open tomb until you do this. And it's running off with dad, and doing whatever dad says. Remember, you do what dad says. You don't do what he does. You do as he says. And stuff like that. It's a wonderful kind of metaphor of growing your hair. Go out there and have a ball. Go out and have fun. Find out if you're going to be an asshole, if the world's going to treat you wrong, make you feel bad, stuff like that, and then this asshole shows up. Or you become this victim, and then the victim shows up, or you can become a hero and the hero shows up, you can be trodden over, just a poor passerby that gets splashed on by a local car going fast through puddles and stuff like that. You just go out and live life. Don't tell people goddamn and all that. Have a great time. It's one of those days, one of those lives, one of those years, one of those times will be the end for you. When that happens, enjoy it. The end of times is a good thing. There's no real terrible thing. We have cataclysms and stuff that will happen on Earth. We've got things that are going on. Basically, it feeds off of us. And there's a whole lot of shit out there, then a whole lot of shit happens. And it's the times. It's what's meant to push this over to the point of no return. And then then it returns. But dogma is going to take on some kind of thing. For years it's been coming because people believe so much in the outside of the Bible, in the folly part, that we've now got Israel and we've got an embassy there. It's just going to totally mess up the whole balance of things in the Middle East. It's a tipping situation, whereas it's so fake. We're pushing it to happen. They want Armageddon and all of this stuff, and it's not gonna. They can bring it about themselves. It's this idea of dogma is going to be the death of us all. Only because of the slumber that people have been put in to not see things correctly, and that our world actually runs off dark energy. It only needs a little bit of light. It's the way the science is working. There's no whole Earth. When Dolores was told all these things while she was manipulating people's minds, she's being clever, thinking she could learn something about the future because of it. Well, you don't get things because you're clever. She was told that the Earth would be done to like this. And all they were telling her was the truth. She just didn't realize that it was not the Earth that would go through this process. It would be the individual that Earth was talking about, their world, their own minds, and how they think. And that one day, that when men will be able to overcome the Earth, overcome mankind, then they are shifted over to this other side. But you have to overcome this. You have to go through the works first. You have to get over that part. You have to do the works. And until then, nobody comes into this world connected to God. We don't. We don't. We haven't. There's this seed that is put between his seed and her seed. If you can't get but only your seed, the male side, the mind side of things, to come to life, that's the servant. You're bucking the maid. You know, you're screwing around with someone else's wife. You're getting all of this. That's where you're getting it from. But to get this holy side, to get this one thing, you have to give up your firstborn in order to do that. And then she comes alive and you get this promised child, and there's no sex involved. It's only a way you think, to get this knowing going on, to get this child to rise inside of you, to give birth to this side and rebirth and birth to you. I've said enough for now, and we'll get back into our regular reading of Revelations. Okay? Sorry about the couple little hiccups in here and there, but I'm telling the truth. And it's not as I see it, it's as it is written. I'll chat with you later. Love y'all.